In this video, we're going to be taking a look at one amazing feature here inside EasyStone, and that's here on the Fonts tab, which is the Export Font function. Now what we've done is we've already stoned a font. So we've already either used our Convert to Single Line Font tool here in EasyStone, or you've created your Rhinestone font. So you can see here we have all the individual stones that make up each letter in our font. Now the next thing we want to do is we want to go ahead and create this font into a typeable font. And we built this tool here in EasyStone to make this process very, very simple. But there are some important things to understand when you go to make a font. The first thing that you have to understand is that each individual letter that you want to be in your font, or number for that matter, or symbol, or whatever type of font you're making, it needs to be one shape. So if I select my letter Z here, you can see the letter Z is comprised of 16 individual stones. The size of the stone is irrelevant, but the key thing is that when you go to export your individual letters, they have to be one object, and currently the letter Z is 16 objects. So what we would have to do is select that letter and use the combine function here inside CorelDRAW, and we would need to do this for every single letter. And of course, that would get tedious. So we've created a function to do that for you automatically. So if you look down here, we've selected our entire alphabet. And if you look down here, there's 461 objects. And what we're going to do is we're going to tell it, look for any stone that's within 1 millimeter of one another. And if it's within 1 millimeter, go ahead and combine it. Okay, so we're going to choose the Combine Letters option, and it will combine these letters. Now what should happen is when you do that, if it did it correctly, when we select all of our individual letters, you can see there's 78 letters. There's 78 objects. So that tells me something is amiss, and you'll have to play with this number depending on how far you have your letters spaced apart. So what if we bump this to 2 and choose Combine? Select all the letters again, and now you can see we have 26 letters, the exact number of letters that we're supposed to have. Okay, so really simple function. So now that we have all of that in place, now we can actually create our typeable Rhinestone font. The advantage of having a typeable Rhinestone font is, of course, we could type out the word eagles or princess or whatever we wanted to, and be able to create our Rhinestone template in that way. But also with the typeable font, we can apply that typeable font to a shape, and that can be quite useful, and we'll show you how that works here once we get our font made. So all we need to do here is just right click on Export Font, and what that will do is that will change our CorelDRAW document. And it's important that we do it this way because when we go to export a font here in CorelDRAW, we have to have our page and our guidelines in a certain format. So now what we're going to do is we're going to select all of our letters, and all I'm going to do here is hit the letter L on my keyboard, and what that does is it just stacks them all right on top of one another. And you can see there's really no exactly right or wrong way to do it. You can see I just have all my letters grouped up right on top of one another right here in the corner. If I want to, I can make them bigger. I don't want them any bigger, however, than the page itself. Okay, so make sure you don't have any shapes extending beyond our page limits. And then, of course, we can go ahead and export our font. All right, so what we'll do here is we'll just go ahead and choose Export Font. So we have all of our shapes selected. We'll choose Export Font, and we get this dialog box. Now, we can call this whatever we want to. I'm going to call it, let's just call it Easy Stone Curls, whatever you want to call it. I don't have a font called Easy Stone Curls, I know that. So we're going to go ahead and choose Easy Stone Curls, and we're going to save the font to the desktop. Okay, now with this would actually save the font to our font folder on our Windows font folder, it would actually save the font to that folder as well if we chose that. So we can choose both options. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this, and when I choose export font, it brings me this dialog box, and for family name, I'm just going to paste. So I'll use the same family name. This is not a symbol font, and so everything else will just leave just the way it is. And all we have to do is click OK. That's it. And you can see it gives us a preview of the letter. So I'll say I want, and we just have to map everything. So that's all we have to do, map it up. So F to capital F, and we go ahead and click OK. And then it shows us E, and then it shows us D, and C, and B, and A, and L, and just go through the whole alphabet K. No other Rhinestone macro has this feature, so it makes creating a font inside CorelDRAW so incredibly easy. Once you make these fonts, obviously you could sell them so that other people could take advantage of the fonts that you're creating. So very, very easy to create fonts in this manner. V, U, T, S, R, Z, and you do have the whole alphabet here. Upper, lowercase, numbers, symbols, all the various keys on the keyboard. X. Okay. All right. So now the font is complete. And now we can actually use that here inside Corel. So let's go ahead and give you an example of something that we can do here. Let's just go ahead and I'm just going to draw a little 3-point curve. And we'll show you how this would work. So what we would do is grab our text tool here, and let's just type in. Now remember, for this particular font, we only use capital letters. So let's just go ahead and type out the word baseball, for example. And then let's just start typing easy, and there it is. There's the Easy Stone Curls font. We'll go ahead and select that. And when we do that here, then you can see we actually get this changed to baseball. Okay? Now, the problem is we don't know. We're going to go ahead and apply it to this curve. This curve is about 8 inches wide. We're going to take baseball here, and we're going to take the curve, and if we go up to text, we could choose this option, which is fit text to path, and it'll put baseball right on our path. And you can see how the lettering just all kind of goes like that, and that's really quite helpful. Now this little control node we can grab, and we can snap baseball right into place. Now here's the thing. We don't know what size circles these are right now. The first step when you're applying text to a curve like this is just to get the shape the way you want to. Once we have the shape the way we want it, then what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and select our text and choose this option, break rhinestone text. Okay? And then we can go ahead and delete our curve because we don't need that anymore. And then we're going to take one of these stone objects, come over here to our specialty tab, right click, that will show us the size of the stone currently, and then we're going to select the entire design, and you can see here we have a stone size of 3.4. So if I click on scale design and I click on one of these, you can see that the size of our stone is roughly 3.4. But once we have it scaled using the scale design tool, we can come back to the stone tab and hit resize replace. And now these are all perfect circles, and if we select them, you'll see they're exactly 3.4 millimeter. And we could go ahead and give those a stone color if we wanted to. And let's just go ahead and add a little weed box around our design. And let's go ahead and simulate the design as well. And there you have it. So you can see how great that is, being able to simulate your designs, being able to create your own typeable fonts within really just a matter of a minute or two. Any font that you create yourself, or maybe you purchase a font and they did not put it into a typeable format for you. Maybe you have some old fonts that you purchased a while back before this whole typeable font became the normal. Now you'll be able to convert those fonts very quickly and easily using that export font tool here inside EasyStone.